I mean, every person today are managing their lives. They're all doing it the same way. It's very simple, but it's going wrong. Managing our lives holistically is even simpler if we keep it that way. An example, and I'm not saying this is how to do it, an African woman was stayed with us for 6 months with me and Jody, and she was training with us to come back and train villagers how to manage their lives holistically. And one day she said, "Can't I do this in my own family?" So I said, "Of course you can. Let me give you some help." So I sat at the dining room table and I said, "Okay, so you're in a job, you're employed. What are you managing? Yourself?" She's a single mother. And I said, "So it's you and your son." I said, "Does anybody else manage your life?" "No." "Anybody else can veto what you do?" "No." "Okay, so that's it. So let's write down how you want your life to be." See, I didn't ask her how she wanted to live.
Ah, I see.
I said, "How do you want your life to be?" And I helped her with that. So she wanted to be reasonably prosperous, secure, etc., etc. And if she had said any action or any prejudice, I'd have said, no, that has no place in a holistic context. It is a holistic context to guide the management of your life. So there can be no prejudice in it, no action in it. And then I said, okay, so you don't manage land, but everything you eat, everything you consume comes from the land, goes back to the land. So how will the land have to look like generally if your great great grandchildren can live a life like that? And so it was a very generic description of the land with clean running rivers. You can drink the water. Every river in the world, you should be able to drink the water like we did for millions of years. Now we can't. Okay, so you just very generic description. And then I said, yeah, and you're employed, so you will always be judged, not by your words, not by your logos, not by your missions. Everybody and every company, at the end of the day, is judged by their behavior. So to be employed and have your employers worship you and want to support you, how are you going to have to be? Don't tell me a lot of strings of honest blah, blah, blah. How are you going to have to be? Gandhi said it, be the change you expect. Brilliant statement by Gandhi.
Yes.
Okay, so I got her to describe that. And then I said, now just start living your life like that. Now, if you're in doubt about something, you can take it through the filtering questions. But if you really want your life to be like that, you'll begin to do it automatically. You won't have to think about it very deeply if you really want that life more than anything in life, because there should be nothing more important to you in life. And if a person says, well, my children are, no, they can't be, because they should be in there. And if, as many do, they say, no, my religion is more important, that's bullshit. Your religion should be in there. You cannot escape it. When you develop that holistic context, it should mean more to you than anything in life. Now, you automatically start living that. If it's only something written on paper and no meaning, you never will. All right, so anyway, I got her to write that down. And I said, now just start living your life like that. And if you doubt something, pass it through the checks. And about maybe 2 weeks later, she came to me very excited and said, damn it, this works. And I said, well, what happened? And she said, well, I went with Matthew, her son, to the shopping mall to shop. I had our shopping list, and we went around with a shopping cart, and we filled the cart and checked everything off on our list. And we got to the checkout counter, and there were 6 people ahead of me, so I had to wait. And while I was waiting, she said, I remembered the holistic context for my life. And she said, I looked at my shopping list and everything on it, and it was, why is this on my list? Desire, 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 need, need, need. desire. And she said, whoops. I sheepishly went back and put half the things back on the shelf. Didn't need them at all.
Mm.
I needed better education of my son more. And so she came to me excited. You see, that it is that simple. It's like that on the farm, it's like that in the town, it's like that anywhere. We've got to stop complicating. We're adults and we cannot see the simplicity.